Well, hello everyone, welcome back. This is Mohammad Badrudduja, and today we are going to solve lab number 5 from JWT attack from Web Security Academy from Portswigger. And in the previous lab, what we have done is we bypass the authentication via JWK header injection. So I already brief in the lab number 4 what is JWK, what is JKU, and what is KID. And before all three labs, means lab number 1, lab number 2, lab number 3, these labs based on the symmetric algorithm, which is HMAC, this one, HMAC SHA 256. So this is symmetric algorithm, where in the symmetric algorithm there is only one key, and this is known as secret key, and server sign the token and verify the token with this secret key only, and that's why that secret key must be secret. Okay, because if anyone get that key, so any threat actor can sign and verify the JWT token from itself. But the lab number 4 and this lab number 5 based on the asymmetric algorithm. So RSA SHA 256, as you can see here, RS 256, where R stands for RSA and S stands for SHA 256. So this algorithm is asymmetric algorithm. In asymmetric algorithms, there are two keys, one is private key and another one is public key. So server sign the tokens with the private key and verifies the token from the public key. So private key must be kept secret, but the public key can be distributed to another party to verify the tokens. So in the lab number 4, we already see how we can inject the JWK parameter, and in today's lab we are going to see how we can inject the cell signed JWT via JKU parameter. So there is a specific scenario where we use, or where the server uses JKU, so JSON web key URL, set URL. So in this case, actually server has many keys, okay, and server does not contains the key itself, but instead it will call the key from another server or from another place via URL. As you can see here, there are different keys. This is the first key, this is the second key, and whenever server needs to call any of these keys, so server call these keys from the URL. So here the attack is very similar to the SSRF, which is server side request forgery. Up to now we did not cover the SSRF module, but in future when we cover SSRF module we will let you know about that. But here you can see, you can consider that the attack vector belongs to that URL from where the server calls the key. Fine. So I already open up the lab here, and this is the lab. So JWT authentication bypass via JKU header injection, and the agenda of this lab is, this lab uses a JWT based mechanism for handling sessions. The server supports the JKU parameter in the JWT header. However, it fails to check whether the provided URL belongs to the trusted domain before fetching the key. And the vulnerability occurs once the server does not check the trustworthiness of the domain from where it is fetching the key. So to solve the lab, we need to access the admin panel, and then we need to delete the Carlos account, and we have the valid credential. The username is Wiener and the password is Peter. Now we will solve this lab in few steps. So the first step is going to be generate the RSA key. Fine. Then second one is set up the exploit server. So here the point is why we call it exploit server. So once we are going to inject the JKU header, so we need to specify the URL, and the URL we will provide the attacker controlled server, so that the server, the target server, will fetch the key from the attacker controlled server. So that's why we are calling it exploit server, means this server contains the key, and whenever the target server trying to fetch the key from this server, so this server is already in our control, and we can pass any key as we want to the target server, right? The third one is alter the JWT. Fine. And last but not least, we need to sign the token. Fine. So let's go and we will do that. So the first step is generate the RSA key. So let's go. I'm going to enable the burp proxy on my browser, and then I'm going to access my account. We already have username and password. So the username is WIENER Wiener and the password is Peter. Okay, don't save, and we are logged in. After logged in, as you can see, we do not have here any admin panel option, right? Go to the burp suite. Any highlighted request you see here is request with the JWT token. So if I click login, so in the login functionality, after the post request, once the authentication is done, at that instant server will assign a JWT token as the cookie, and after that any request you make, that request will contain JWT token, right? So let's see if we can access the admin panel or not. So /admin, hit enter, and as you can see, admin panel can be accessed by administrator only. So come back here, and this is the admin request, and I'm going to send this request to the repeater. So after sending this request to the repeater, go to the repeater and send that request again. And as you can see, 401 means unauthorized. So we are not authorized to access this resource, means /admin. Now come back to the first step where we need to generate the RSA key. So go to the JWT editor keys, and this key I already generated before. So I'm going to delete this key and go to click the new RSA key, and we do not need to change anything here. Just generate the key. Okay, now what we need to do here is, we already generate the key. Right click and copy public key as JWK, copy that and come back here, and here we need to paste that. Fine. Okay, so we need to manage a bit. Fine. And also this one. Now here we need to mention this whole value as a key. So we need to say here key keys, and this is also again the JSON format, and this is gonna be the object in array. Fine. And again so now we need to actually put this here. So that's it. Now what we need to do in the second step, we need to set up the exploit server. So we must put this key, copy, and come back here, just turn off the burp proxy here. So now here, as you can see, this Lab Web Security Academy provides us the exploit server, and this exploit server is controlled by us. So just right click on it and open it in a new tab. This is the exploit server, which is, you can consider it that this is controlled by you or controlled by a hacker. And in the body section here, we need to paste the key. So whenever the real server or the target server will try to fetch the key, it will come to us, means the attacker controlled web server or attacker controlled server that contains the key, and it will get this key. Fine. So just store this key. Now go back to the burp proxy, go to the repeater, and here what we need to do is, first of all, go to the payload, and here, so we set up the exploit server. Now the next part is manipulating the JWT token. So first go to the payload section, and here you need to select JSON web token. Okay, and from here the issuer is Portswigger and the subject is Wiener. So instead of Wiener, we need to change it to administrator. Fine. Okay, the next thing here is we need to add here one more parameter, that is gonna be the JKU parameter, right? And this JKU parameter contains the URL of the exploit server. So our exploit server is this, and the URL of the exploit server is this. So copy that, go back to the burp suite, and the value of JKU is our exploit server. So we provided this URL. So whenever the target server try to fetch the key, okay, to sign the token or to verify the token, so it will go to this URL. But what we need to do is the KID must be matched to our KID. So we need to copy this KID from here, copy this KID value and paste it. Instead of this KID, we need to paste our KID. Fine, everything is done. Now we just need to go to the sign, because the last step is to sign the token, right? So come back here, left hand bottom corner, sign, click sign. This is our key, and make sure the algorithm is RS256, which is similar to this token algorithm. So the algorithm must be same, and make sure don't modify the header option is checked. Now just click OK, and the token is signed. Go to the raw, and now just to make sure, click on header option, and in the inspector you can see the KID which is assigned by us, and the JKU is also there. Now go to the payload section and come here. The subject is administrator now, so that means everything is okay. We can do one more thing. Go again to the JSON web token and just verify to see whether the token is signed successfully or not, and it is verifying or not. So as you can see here, JSON web signature verified, okay. That means everything goes perfect. So go to the raw and send the request again, and as you can see 200 okay. That means we can access the admin panel, as you can see here, and we have Carlos user and Wiener user, and these are the links to delete. So now I am going to just right click on the response and show response in the browser. Now copy this URL, go back to the browser, and make sure turn on the burp proxy on the browser, and just paste the URL which we copy from the burp suite, and just hit enter. Now as you can see, we have admin panel here, and we have two users, Carlos and Wiener. We can delete these users from here, but the problem is every time you choose anything or you click anything or you try to access anything, the JWT token is again reassembled to its original position or original values with the original parameters. So every time you have to change the parameters, or every time you have to sign the token. So because in Burp Suite we already did that, so it's better and easy to just copy this path and paste it here. Fine, and just yeah, that's perfect. So double quotes, I delete the double quotes and everything seems okay. Just send the request again, and once we send, hooray, you can see 302 found means it's redirecting us and redirecting to the location /admin. That means we are good to go. Just follow the redirection, and 200 okay, that means the user is deleted. So congratulations, the lab, you solved the lab, and admin panel is still there, user deleted successfully, and now there is only winner user. So again, to make sure, I'm going to right click and show response in the browser, copy this link and come here, make sure the proxy is on and paste the link, hit enter, and boom, we solved the lab and user deleted successfully, and now we have only one user, winner. Carlos is already deleted. So that's it for this video. If you like the content, please like, subscribe and share. If you have any query, please put your query in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye.